The Ethereal Saga. Part 1, The Beginning of the Ethereal Plane. When Bingu and Kinidu first created animals, they had many failed animals that were still clay models. They kept them floating in space. But when they introduced breeding to the animals, they multiplied like crazy. So, Bingu and Kinidu introduced death. But where to put the animal souls? Aha! The failed clay models. But they couldn't just leave them in space. So, Bingu and Kinidu made a quick abstraction of Earth for the creatures. They called it the ethereal plane. Then, they introduced humanity and shoved the dead souls into failed humanoid models and threw them into the ethereal plane. Eventually, Earth got so complex and big that Bingu and Kinidu needed help and companionship, so they called upon the ancient energies of Binkinidugu to create lesser gods and gave them a home in the ethereal plane. Thus, the ethereal plane went from a garbage dump for souls to the realm of the gods. Part 2, The Grey Valley. One day, Bingu and Kinidu were visiting the ethereal plane when they saw a group of fresh humanoids looking around, confused. Kinidu came down from the sky and asked them why they were so confused. They asked her if they were dead and if she was God. In response, she asked if they were Dugists. They had no idea what that was. She decided to name all non-Dugists apathetists, and she asked Bingu to put them somewhere. He created a river to scar the earth in between the two sides of the ethereal plane and called it the Great Valley. Then, rich plant life started growing. They needed to find a material that would horrify the plants so much that they would die. They ground up babies into a white powder and called it baby powder. They spread it around the entire valley, and the baby powder mixed with the dead plant life and turned gray. They thought gray was a suitable color for the apathetists and renamed it the Grey Valley. They put the apathetists into the valley, and soon the apathetists started complaining that they wanted to be out of the valley. They told them that they would be reincarnated soon, but the apathetists kept complaining. They put a great stone weeble in the middle of the valley and told the apathetists that if they made it fall down they could go to the rest of the ethereal plane. They knew that weebles wobble, but they don't fall down, so nobody could leave the valley. The apathetists fought over the weeble, so they created two golems, Spinceria Titanus and Janus Vaminosa. Some of them eventually escaped to Earth, but that is another story. They gave the leftover baby powder to Earth for them to do wars with, but they misinterpreted the meaning of baby powder as powder to use on babies. It actually worked well, and the world used up the entire supply in a month. The world asked for more, and Kinidu rounded up the people with the strongest stomachs and told them how to make it. They came up with a lie that baby powder is just something called talc, a secret acronym for the answer lies cold.